G'day mate and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included with me, JD, and something that was working fine last episode is not working this episode, as always. You happy now? Maybe. Alright, so we're still trying to build things, we've still got stuff overheating. What else is new? Alright, we're ignoring that. Alright, so last episode we went through and we optimized as best as we could. A lot of the pipes, they're still building a giant pipe run halfway across the base to get petroleum over here, because we're going to need petroleum into these liquid fuel tanks. And now I'm still thinking about bringing all this lower. Still considering it before we build too much, but we'll build a rocket first, and if needs be, we'll lower this side and then, yeah, rearrange everything else again. Building entombed, temp shift plate. Alright, those railroad miners will deal with it. Yeah, the temp shift plate. I don't know. I don't think this guy has overheated yet. Some of them have overheated, some of them haven't. Like this guy has. Alright. This episode, I was going to try and do all the gases, offline. And I thought, you know what? Let's try and do them online. Let's try and do them in an episode. Let's try and go through and try and get some of this optimization done during an episode. The question is, where the hell do you start? Okay, you start with that bit of polluted oxygen. Nope, that's moved already. Milligrams. It's milligrams of polluted oxygen. But of course, it's going to cause hassles. Yeah, it's moved again. Yep, there we go. That one of them got damaged. All right. Okay, ventilation overlay. We'll start with our oxygen pipes. So we're producing oxygen here. We're bringing the pipes down. Now we're bringing that oxygen that way and that way. Alright, so let's start with adding more pipes, because that's definitely the way to go about things. We'll come in here, we'll get it insulated out of ceramic. Which then means that's going to have to be dug out. Can they reach all those tiles? I'm going to go with yes, probably. Okay, what is that? That's natural gas, and that's helium. Hydrogen. So natural gas comes from here, goes along. Nothing we can do about that. That's perfect. We're going to leave that as is. All this is now natural gas. So I'm actually going to deconstruct, radiate, all of that. Automation, all of that. Deconstruct that. Vent, deconstruct. Gas element sensor, deconstruct. We're going to stop dupes going in there. And we're even going to stop them going in there, because they don't need to get access in here anymore. So we're just going to block off all their access entirely. If I hooked automation up to this door, I could cycle it once and have a vacuum. But 50 degrees, 43 degrees, It's slightly warmer in here, but we're creating a vacuum fast enough it really doesn't matter. We're pumping the gas out sort of straight away. Okay. Natural gas comes down, zigzags all over the map, goes that way. We've got 3 oxygen pipes going north. 1 goes into these suits, 2 goes into those suits, and then they join back together. So we're going to deconstruct that mess. Yeah, we don't need any of that anymore. I would like it if this was not chlorine. It's because I've got this off-gassing and the chlorine's just filling up. I'd like another pump! I'd like another gas pipe! I'd like to move the chlorine to that side of the door. Pump it up into this area. You know, help cool this crap down. Alright, we'll leave that for a later problem. So we've got oxygen coming in here, plus going up the top, running to that vent. Excess is going up into there and being vented. You're overpressurized. So we actually do have oxygen up here, which is a pretty sealed room. It's hot oxygen, but it is oxygen. It's coming in as cold oxygen. Oh wow, it gets superheated real fast going through there. So we got temp shift plates to try and cool down the telescope, which is at 124 degrees. Deconstruct. Pro 9. Disable auto repair. Because supposedly these have been changed. They don't overheat anymore. Supposedly. As far as I can see, they're not working, but you know. Alright. So those temp shift plates are really hot. And again, I can't work out why. Alright. Oxygen overlay. So this is all full of chlorine. We finally dug down at the bottom here. We do have a single bit of outside there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deconstruct the... Where's my gas vent? There. So I'm going to deconstruct that tile, I'm going to deconstruct that tile, and we're going to dig those tiles back out. I have no idea if there's drywall behind here. Could just open this up to a vacuum. But if I can dump the oxygen in here, hopefully it'll push the chlorine out, and hopefully we can get cooler oxygen into this room. Hopefully. Come on, Jeeps, come do something about it. Actually, let's try open. Yeah, that's a vacuum. Try all there, and come on, autosave. There. Okay, hopefully they'll fix those. If I open that door, like the oxygen coming in is at like 17 degrees. If I open that door, maybe that's enough to let the hot air out. Maybe. Maybe. And let cool air in. I know opening the bottom probably won't work, but I'm hoping pressure will fix that problem. Okay. So I've hooked up a new pipe. So if I have this new pipe, deconstruct. Come to there. See, that's a bit of polluted oxygen. Oh, is that because... Oh, crap. Alright. Put on debug mode for a minute to mop that up, because that's just going to cause us hell. Fixed. Because, of course, that's off-gassing every now and then and putting it into our pipes, which is then causing us nothing but issues. Yay! Alright, so that runs oxygen to there. We don't need a bridge followed by bridge. We can just have normal pipe. That oxygen is going into those suits, and into those suits. Done. So that pipe's fine. This pipe is, again, going through a bridge. Going into here, then into there, then through another bridge of nothingness. And then it's being merged off this one. So we're going to take away that merge. So you'll pressurize that room. You'll pressurize that room. You'll pressurize that room. No, ventilation. Gas pipe straight through there. Straight through there. Deconstruct. Deconstruct. That's to our millwood, which has no dirt, no fertilizer, and apart from that, and now says body temperature. So it's just fertilizer, because that one has been super cooled. Now we could turn back on the mealwood anytime we wanted, but we don't really have a need to. Do I need any of that? No, we're just going to remove all of that. They don't have access to that door, but they do have access to that door. So they get part of it done. Weight plate. Oh, the weight plates aren't actually set to be deconstructed, but everything else is. So they get half of that deconstructed. Okay. Gas pipe keeps coming down. Now this does a bridge because we want to force the gas one direction. And then dumps out there. Then it comes down. Oh, that's a feed-in pipe. Which is then feeding both up and down and coming through to here. And that was again done to force the direction. Okay, that's bridging, that's coming to there, and then this is just a vent. Nothing but a vent at the bottom. And that's our oxygen. Oh, that's from this mini pump. Mini pump. Disable. You've got no oil. Oh, because somebody hasn't got down the exosuits, which now have gas, so at least somebody's getting down there and using them now. Okay. So we have fixed the problem. That's always a good sign. So that's a feed in from that pipe, which is basically looping back around here. So, to simplify things, what we'll do is we'll put in a gas bridge. Whoops. We'll put in a gas bridge like that. And then we'll remove that gas bridge. That gas pipe. No, not the gas bridge. The gas pipe. That one. Come on, game. Thank you with the autosaves. Deconstruct that. Deconstruct that. Deconstruct that. Go back to the deconstruction tool and get rid of all of that. Okay, so if I'm not fitting in here anymore, it then means we can go straight through there and get rid of that gas bridge. Now I know dupes can't reach half of these. Ceramic? Are we really out of ceramic? You're just lying to me. We're really out of ceramic. Cancel build. We'll build it out of whatever you've decided. Granite. Okay, that works. Alright. I don't know whether they can actually reach that or not. You're full of sour gas. Sour gas we really haven't made a decision about yet. Okay, oxygen down to here. And then we're doing lots and lots of jumps. And I'm going to pipe feeding that way. To pump out to there. And a pipe down to there to pump out to there. Okay, I'm going to call that reasonably done. Alright, new gas pipe. Comes straight down to here. And fills these exos and does nothing else. I guess there's nothing wrong with that. This oxy pipe does those exos stops dead. Okay. We'll also take that as a fine. Where's the tube? Show navigation. You can't actually get up here to build any of this. So I need to do that. You're crunching down to make steel. Steel's not happening because nobody's got down here and actually fix this. Probably 9. Okay, we're just going to wait for them to get there. They're going to take a while. Oh, that's trying to flow both directions. Yeah, because that's all full. Okay. If I join, so you're coming here. If I join that together, you'll at least start flowing out. So I need to actually cancel a lot of that. Okay, I want to deconstruct that bridge. Probably 8. Because that'll stop the water flowing down and up. And I still need this repair. Talk about frustrating. Stop picking up Igneous Rock and start actually doing some of what you've been told. Mop. 7. You're in excess suits, it doesn't matter. Oh, we're digging through to here. Okay. Lots of jobs to be done. Uproot. 49. We probably... No, we can't get there just yet. We need to just build ourselves a little ladder to come into there. Oh, we can't get in here either. So again, I'm going to need a little ladder to get up. A little ladder to get down. Oil can't get over. this mound. So the easiest answer is just dig it out. And that way oil can flow straight across, all the way across, all the way across. It's flowing in. Oh, it's actually flowing in. Meh, so be it. We'll just fill up this area with oil as well. So it'll flood in here, it'll flood over there. It's fine. That's digging out more gold. More oil. Igneous rock. I don't really see any more fossils. More diamond. Yeah, we're gonna run out of fossils real soon. Like, we've got a crap ton. Don't get me wrong. Like 10 tons of the stuff, but we're gonna run out sooner or later. All that water is coming from... Really? No, it's just because I keep deconstructing pipes. Okay, so we've got a door here and a door there. Okay, so that solves a couple of problems. We're gonna... No entry. No entry. Deconstruct. Pipes. So we've already established that those pipes do nothing. Now, I could try and reverse all the pipes and have all the water flow back, and it's probably a good idea. But it's a lot of pipes to reverse. Or I just deconstruct everything and worry about mopping it up later. Or just accept that it's going to pull down here. And when they fix this thing, it'll come out this pipe and get thrown into that pipe and be run back through the base as coolant. Deconstruct liquid pipe 7. There's enough liquid to worry about. Alright, so we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. Get rid of that. We're going to get rid of all of that. All of that. All of that. That's the oil intake pipe, so I need to keep that one. That bridge can go away, because that goes to there. And then potentially that bridge can be turned into a straight line. I think it already is a straight line, but I can't see, obviously. Alright, back to ventilation. So go to oxygen pipes. That one, that one, that one. Now, it looks like... I'm going to have to run it for a while to see. But it looks like maybe we don't actually have enough oxygen in this pipe to fully do all the areas. Deconstruct that. Ventilation. Insulated. Straight across. Insulated straight across. Get rid of the gas bridge. Awaiting delivery. I already know for a fact that it can't be reached. Plastic tile. There and there on principle. That should do it. Okay. So that means our oxygen from our overflow gas sorting system will come out here. What is this pipe? This is into our gas sorting system. That's a second into the gas sorting system, which is doing a jump over all sorts of crap. I could take, and I'm going to take, sure, let's go straight through there. That's the pipe. Alright, so that's our chlorine out. That's our chlorine in. rather having a chlorine loop, and I know why we had the loop. We had the loop to allow it to come in as low as possible before the automation turns it off, but we've actually just manually turned off chlorine. So it means I need to keep an eye, and now it's now my responsibility to watch the chlorine levels. Deconstruct that one as well. We can bring that up to there. We can bring you along one more pipe and then do a gas bridge in. And just confirm that says chlorine. Yeah. Okay, so chlorine will go straight to their gas sorting system. Is that pipe. So, same story, bring this across. I've got a bridge over the CO2 out. Over... That's a chlorine out. No, I should just be able to link in there like that. Right, how's this repair going? It's not. Seven, 8. Nothing super high priority. Alright, ventilation display again. So because our first decontaminator's already overheated and been deconstructed, we'll get rid of the second one. That's the gas sorter, so I can just do that and just run an inside gas pipe through there. Ooh. Okay, actually, that one's going to be deconstructed way higher priority. Thank you. To go straight through. Nope, nobody can reach that tile. Right, build that one tile. We've put that one tile. Oxygen's been emptied out of there. Deconstruct buildings. Let me get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. Because hopefully it's less pathfinding for the poor duplicates. Whilst we've done all that, we've got a liquid fuel tank. We're going to put down another liquid fuel tank. Are you full? Wayne delivery, iron. Autosave. So you're priority 1. You're priority 1. You're priority like 8. You have iron and oxalate. You have none. I think a dupe needs to be able to stand here to be able to actually fill it up. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling. Because there's going to be a shit ton of iron right here. The auto sweeper can't possibly reach that far. Yeah, we're not going to add another auto sweeper just yet. Alright, and you needed oxalate as well, which is allow manual use. It keeps putting 5 grams of oxalate in these things because they're never quite 100% full. Because, yeah, awesome code. Alright, plumbing, inserted liquid pipe out of igneous rock, sure. Alright, we're going to bring that up. 1, 2, 3. Nobody can reach that. See, the rocket sticks out, the actual base of the rocket sticks out further than anything else. So I can build closer. Really? I'm gonna exit to cancel? Oh, Oni. Okay. We'll build up this side so you can get that pipe put in. Alright. Back down to our gas mayhem. Yeah, there's just a bit for the dupes to do. Okay. You're doing polluted oxygen when you process air, which is like never. You can do, come on, a puff prints. You can do a puff prints. I don't have any dense puffets. What's that? Puff prints. Okay, so we're gonna need a dupe to actually bring it down here. Oxygen deodorizer in there. Yeah, the puffs are eating. Cancel. The puffs are actually eating the polluted oxygen too fast. If I leave them, I'm eventually going to end up with a vacuum. The morbs just aren't making nearly enough polluted oxygen, even though there's quite a few of them. Passing gas. It doesn't say how much. Just says passing gas. Might have to do an experiment and put these guys in a vacuum and leave them there for 10 cycles and see how much gas they put out. Okay. Right, back to ventilation. So that's cleaned up that, which now means I can go deconstruct. I can get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Now I do have this gas pump that also outputs what would be carbon dioxide when all these gas generators are running. Now, is it easy to go this way through this crap, or is it easy to come south? Is it easier just to reverse the ones I've got? Gas bridge, deconstruct, 9. Gas bridge, deconstruct, 9. Gas bridge, deconstruct, 9. Alright, so now we go deconstruct with a 7. That one. That one. That one. All of that one. Nope, insulated gas pipe, that's the one I want. Okay. Ventilation, insulated gas pipe. So we're going to go straight to there. And then I'll reverse everything else. Alright. Carbon dioxide, same story. Now I've had this changeover, I don't have to run through lots and lots of bridges. 9. 9. 9. 9. I can now just run. A dead straight line. That'll hopefully give the gas less pathfinding has to deal with. Something was overheating. So that's natural gas into this pipeline, into the generators. Which is now full of carbon dioxide. How the hell did carbon dioxide get in there? I'm gonna have to pull the room to a vacuum again. There's no other way. How is oxygen down here? It's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. It's not great, but I actually thought it'd be a lot worse. Because the idea is this one will end up being pure natural gas, and then I can just dump it straight in. Mop. So that I do want mopped up. Of course he deconstructed things the wrong order, dupes. Alright. None of this is done still. So that's a deconstruct. That's a deconstruct. That's a insulated plumbing there to there. Okay, so that means they're going to rip up all that. Well, I have ripped up a good chunk of it. They're going to rip up all this pipe still. Which, again, they'll get to in good time. This is still not repaired. Oh. Alright. Gonna kill off all that, kill off all that. Ventilation. So, same story. This is now self-contained natural gas only. There's nothing in here but natural gas at the top, natural gas at the bottom. Tubes no longer have access, which is fine, but it actually means that can go, that can go, that can go, automation, that can go, that can go. Liquid pipe, liquid shutoff can go. Gas element sensor can go. Gas shutoff can go. Which means I do need to give them access to deconstruct all that. They're in an exosuit. They're passing through water and a door so that we won't leak gases. But yeah, I want it all gone. Alright, same story. Is this all chlorine? Yes. Okay, so automation. That can all go. Liquid shutoff can go. Gas shutoff can go. Gas vent can go. Hydro sensor can go. Yeah. They don't need access into that room to do any of that. They can just do it all from this side of the door. Yeah, they're so confused. Look at them. They step forward a time, and then thinking for quite some time before they get to move on to the next step. And that stuff's priority 5, and they're doing it without an issue. Whereas this is priority 9, and they're not even bothering. How hot is it down here? 71 degrees. Oh, so deconstruct it, not a problem. Plumbing. Liquid filter. I want to flip you twice. Probably 9. Oh, you just delivered the gold out. Damn. Damn. Okay, I have to mop those up because they'll drive me nuts. Floating liquid. Okay, now build it, Eagle. Oh, excellent. We're going to filter crude oil. Excellent. Alright, get rid of that. So, if I'm now pumping... I was pumping. You're going to filter out. Does it need the output? Intake. Oh, I plumbed into the output pipe. Hopefully that's far enough that the tubes will catch it. Nope. I need this deconstructor so I can get that one little bit of petroleum out. You done autosave? Nope. Deconstruct that one. Oh no, I got it. So, more empty pipe. That bit of pipe. Alright, so now I've cleared up some of this. We can now go plumbing, insulator. There we go. Deconstruct. Wrong button. Liquid bridge. Probably not. Right, I need that done. I need that hooked back up. Done. Yeah, pick up some igneous rock, build the thing right above your head. Actually build it? No. I'll actually build that one? No. Alright. That'll give me petroleum out of the pipe, which means oil can go up. Petroleum can stay where can go into its storage tank. It means some of this polluted water will get out of here. What is that hooked up to? So you're filtering for... Okay, so that was my shutoff. Again, I don't need any of that. Which also means, yeah, I can clean up some power wires. Not a lot. But at this point, I'm sort of hoping every little bit helps. Okay. So, oil's now running, water's now running, petroleum's running. Eventually, somebody will disconnect this. Otherwise, we're just going to pump the petroleum around in circles forever. So, we're now mixing clean water in with polluted water, which is going to come up this magical pipe. Bridge to construct. Over there, into there. Into the cooling loop. Boom, 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 boom. Down, round, all through there. Back up, all the way out. Out there, up to there. It's then going to go into the treatment pipe, which you don't need to be there. Which will then treat the polluted water. If it's clean water and can't output, it'll loop back around and feed it back into the system. Why is that? Oh, because I disconnected this pipe. Okay, once that's rebuilt, done. Flowing again. And if it's polluted water and we can't output the polluted water, it'll just dump it out this vent into this pool where this pump will pump it back up and rinse and repeat through the system. Oh wow, they're all empty. Deconstruct buildings. They're all empty. That's empty. That's empty. That's empty. That's empty. Good water. 0 kilograms. Wow. Okay, so same story. Deconstruct. So that's the intake pipe. So this pump was going into all the intakes and then out the outtakes. Okay. So that can go. That can go. That can go. That pump's going potentially into there to fill those. I don't even need that anymore. Okay, so get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that pump. Get rid of that bridge. Actually, that can be way lower. That's the high priority one. And that's the high priority one. If I can get rid of those two, I can then just build straight across. Say with this one, if I can get rid of it, I can then just build straight across. Jeb can't get that far. Okay. How about that one? Can you deconstruct that one for me, Jeb? It's now isolated at least. Straight through there. Yeah, you can't. Well, you went that way for one tire, but then you can't run that way, so it can go away. Okay. So where are we up to now? Let's do both types of water. So we can deconstruct that one. Same story, we've got so many of these empty. Except the water pipe's flowing all the way through. So I can just go deconstruct buildings and get rid of those. Okay. We're making progress. Alright. Ventilation. That was a gas pipe for pumping in chlorine, I believe. That's set, that's set, that's set. That's all fixed. That's set, but the tube hasn't got there yet. We now have oil coming in, which means hopefully forever. Probably 8. Right, we'll try repairing it. Use a ceramic. Here we got plenty of clay. So if I do 10, that's 250. If I do 100, that's 2.5 tons of coal used. Yeah, let's make 99 of those. Okay, so you're now running beautifully. You're letting out the hot oil before it explodes. You've got cold oil in. Horsey is now doing our first run ever of... So at 130 odd degrees. Alright. Over 150. If you're over... Crude oil changes at 400. Yeah. So if you're over 250, you're too hot. Come on, game. Unpause. I want to actually have this in my hand. Yeah, so if you're over 250. I'm just going to loop the oil out. Now, in saying that, if I used the oil reserve, it would average out the temperature. So I could possibly get a couple of runs out of it by slowly heating up the whole 5-ton reserve and then dumping the whole 5-ton reserve. That's more automation, forget it. As long as we've got somewhere to sink our petroleum into, which looks like we're just about out of, we should be fine. Tracker? No. And you're at 4 of 6, you're at 4 of 6, okay. Back up here, rocketry, another liquid fuel tank, plumbing, excellent. You've got full, oil's only got that far. You have no items whatsoever. We've got more missing. Utilities. Drywall. One, 2, 3, 4. Like a Jeep should be able to reach this. Should. Alright, we'll deconstruct that. We'll put in shipping. A receptacle. Show us the conveyor overlay. Yeah, right there. Refinement. No utilities. A bit of travel in there too. Shipping. Auto sweeper. Power overlay. That circuit. Yeah, that circuit's fine. Power, conductive wire. Because I can't even launch this rocket. Oh, no, I can't access the show star map. Yep, I can't access it because I pulled down the telescope. Because all these are still at 125 degrees Celsius. Okay, oxygen is slowly filling up this area. And all the solar panels are dead. Awesome! Okay, look at solar panels on the other side. Also dead. They actually look like they're dead because they've had crap come through and smack into them. Yeah, our automation failed. Because everything overheated. Oh! Alright, that's a lost cause. We're just going to ignore it for the moment. We'll come back and deal with it later. And yet that one's perfectly fine. It hasn't been smashed or anything. And it could just be that I got it in a vacuum. The other ones just took damage from hot stuff landing on them. Or just getting shattered by all the diamond breaking and everything landing on top of them. Okay. Yeah, even then they could jump to here and fill stuff that way. Okay, shipping! Auto sweeper! Come on, game. Out of gold, goldie. Actually, it's almost out of steam. It's down to less than a kilo. So I'm going to open the door, let all the steam out. So it's too cold. That's too cold. Deconstruct. Oh, wrong button. Deconstruct. Ventilation. Deconstruct. All of that. So steam in the pipes is fine, but it's the steam in these reservoirs not so fine. And I don't know, I'd have to store them in a really, really hot biome and make the steam in the same really, really hot biome. Ideally, actually, it would probably be a case of putting my steam tanks in here and making this bigger. Because obviously it's going to be hot enough in here to do that with. Okay, I need to stack it on my... Tell me what power cable. Okay, I can't build that. There. Deconstruct. Storage bin. Alright, so you're going to get fill of oxalite slowly over time. If I can get iron here, it means I can then also fill it with iron. This still has 19 tons of iron, so that's not really an issue. Oh, we're now at 3 astrals, that's right. Okay, so we got that far. Rocketry. Research module. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll leave. Yeah, I need to move the base down further. Come on, storage bin. Metal, nope, metal ore. I want refined metal. Iron, high priority, sweep only. That's the mop button, that's the sweep button. Sweep all that crap. Sweep all that crap and all that crap. Okay. Alright, leave that alone again. Come back down to our gas flow problem. Natural gas, into there, out of there, across to here. CO2 comes back the other way. Gas pipes are all fixed here. Hydrogen goes that way, natural gas goes that way, oxygen goes that way, sour gas stays where it is. CO2 comes and joins that, goes to slicksters, and chlorine goes that way. Okay. That's an everything pipe. That's a polluted oxygen pipe into the slicksters room, which needs to actually start getting looked at being turned off and running through the gas sorter room. Because otherwise we're going to end up with all sorts of crap in here. Alright. Where does polluted oxygen go? Natural gas. Hydrogen. Oxygen. Sour gas. Carbon dioxide. Chlorine. Polluted oxygen doesn't actually go anywhere. So, back to actually setting up some automation. We want ventilation. We want a gas pipe element sensor. With gold right there. We want a gas shut off. There. We want a gas pipe there. That is a high pressure vent. So this is our little bit of everything pipe. So I could take my, which already has a, if it's not polluted oxygen, take it over here and dump it over here system. But I could further refine that by having everything. What's that? That's diamonds. That's diamonds. Made over here, haven't got to there. That's a bit of fossil. That's a bit of diamond, that's a bit of igneous rock. So there's only this bit of diamond over here. Everything else, like all the fossils, all the diamonds I can see, we've dug up. Oh, there's a bit of fossil down here. Yeah. Oh, they gotta deconstruct this too. Get in there. That's all igneous rock. That's pointless. That's neutronium. Yeah. Okay. Automation. Out of gold. This is probably the closer of the two. Okay. So once that's done, we can have... Oh, power. Oh, look, power. Conductive iron. Out of gold. Deconstruct that bit. What's that? All sensors and crap that's on the other side of the room. But they do have permissions. I'll set to 5, that's why. Let's go with 8. Okay. So once this is done, we can have our polluted oxygen go that way straight away. Everything else go to magic gas sorter, which should be fine. It does mean sour gas is my only other issue, which I need to deal with. And I think the answer is, depending on what temperature it is. So what do we got in here already? We have sour gas at 30 degrees. And the sour gas here is at 125. So maybe run it through a cold biome to try and take some temperature off it first. Not that we'll actually be able to cool it down far enough to condense it. Because if we get it down to minus 161, it'll actually turn into... I can't remember. It turns into sulfur and something else. Gases. Sulfur. I think it turns into propane, methane. So if we cool it down to minus 161, we get methane and sulfur. And then if we then heat that up from minus 61 to... No, if we literally leave it for half a second, it phase changes back from methane liquid to natural gas. But getting stuff down to minus 161 is a little bit difficult. Just a tiny bit. Does anybody want to do this shit? Anybody? Okay. We'll go check on our rocket again. Good. You're ready for the next stage. We want another research module. You are slowly putting in both items. Okay, so swept all that. They haven't swept any of this. So if they sweep all that, which like they've got to run all the way around, which is a bit of a pain, but it is what it is. Oh, actually, there's iron and shit everywhere. Sweepy, 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 sweepy. Sweepy, 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 sweepy. Yeah, if they sweep all that crap, put it in there, load up that rocket, we can then launch Meep off to nowhere, because I still haven't put down a new thingamajiggy-bob. Okay. What's happening here? You are full of chlorine at the bottom, full of oxygen at this level, it's at 60 odd degrees. You're still overheating because you're at 140. You're above 100, so the wheeze won't stop working. You're at 65. Heat. So we go from being okay to way too hot to, you know. Which is probably why all this died, because its power died. What do you have in you? Regolith. What do you have in you? Regolith. Alright. Deconstruct. Gas pipes. Priority 9. Utilities. No, deconstruct. Background buildings. Priority 9. Get rid of those as well. So if we do that, put another observatory, because that's sort of like the only place I have for it. I could remove all this crap. I'm just gonna, we'll put it right here. It won't take him too long to deconstruct things, I hope. Come on, keep going, guys. You're doing a wonderful job. Yep, less clapping, more shooting laser guns. Laser guns of deconstruction. That one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. I'm going to take insulator pipe. Run it from there to there. With telescope, pretty 9, out of gold amalgam, right there. It's in the exact same spot, so your ventilation should hook up without a problem. There's the whole door not open problem. I don't even have to see what I'm doing. Okay. So we can just make it to the next spot. Overheat damage. 140 and climbing. Okay. You know what? Disable auto repair. We don't actually need it working, we just need it to exist. Alright, science module, science module. Deconstruct, buildings, all of those can go. Alright. Do we send one of the other ones? It doesn't actually say, it just says Mastery of the Space Cadet job. There's no perks or anything. Alright, we're going to launch Meep again anyway, just force a habit. Alright, I'm going to leave the episode here. Because it's well over an hour. It means next episode we'll actually watch Meep fly off into the great unknown, go pick us up some more goodies. And yeah, we'll take it from there in the next episode. And maybe I will actually maybe Meep will have launched. Because okay, so I was ready to end it. Alright, so today is the first day. It's the last day of school. At the time of recording. By the time the video goes up tomorrow, it'll be the first day of school holidays. So, as I briefly mentioned the last episode, and I'm thoroughly mentioning in this episode, and I've actually got to do a channel update, which will hopefully go out around about the same time this video does, or at least in the same 24-hour daytime cycle as this episode. Yeah, school holidays have started, so my recording schedule is blown out the window because I've got 4 kids at home most days of the week. So yeah, oxygen not included is unfortunately going to be one of the first victims, purely because it takes a long time. In saying that, there is always a chance I might start doing heavily edited episodes, so I might have 2 hours worth of gameplay edited down to 20 minutes, because it is something I do want to experiment with over this holiday break. Doing more editing, a lot more editing, to try and get better at editing overall. I'm not going to copy those down yet because our storage is emptying out because we're cooking it into food, which is making it more compressed. And holy crap, we can feed ourselves forever. Yeah, alright. So yeah, oxygen not included might be taking a little bit of a dive in episode count. We will see. It's all up in the air because, as I said, 4 kids at home, varied lifestyle. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to end it for this episode of Oxygen Not Included. Thank you guys for watching. Do hope you're enjoying the series. I do hope you get down in the comments and demand that I do daily episodes, and I will definitely point my finger at them and tell the missus, and we'll go from there. Anyway, thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one. Alright, bye!